Hello, this is Dillis from codediv.com, and you can visit my website at codediv.com. Right now it's a subscription service. I actually have some good news. Besides having free resources on Nerdness, as well as my personal blog, I believe you can access it here, as well as Twitter and my weekly newsletter. I'm thinking about making this entire website and mostly my collection of videos like this free. So uh, they can be Nerd Code and they can be about boot camps, some analysis, and Silicon Valley lifestyle and stuff. So stay tuned. I haven't made a final decision on this yet, but that sounds like where I want to be going and share this with more people. Very interestingly, at the Women Develop It startup, like Girls Develop It event, actually, excuse me, what happened was there was another lady who couldn't make it to the event, and she essentially just gave me the free gift of education, a very expensive ticket to one of the workshops that really changed my view. So I was very thankful for that. I was thinking, why can't I do something very similar? I'm a blogger. I really enjoy doing posts like this video. I've changed this around lately, and I'm writing a whole series on Hack Reactor. So if you go to my blog and type in Hack Reactor, you can see a recent post on the human factor, how's the faculty to student ratio at Hack Reactor, and some miscellaneous facts that I found interesting. You can also find posts like this, a formal introduction to Twitter Bootstrap, which is a professionally written post on how to get started. So today I want to talk about Hack Reactor without further ado. It's actually kind of hard to tell what to focus on the website. If you scroll down, very nice, a little bit of parallax-like full screen slider. You can sign up for newsletters, and I highly recommend it if you're checking out Hack Reactor. If you don't know already, Hack Reactor is quite expensive. I think it's 17K now. I have to look this up in just a little bit. So it is considered one of the, if not the most expensive boot camps in the Bay Area. I've had the pleasure to be invited to Hack Reactor to visit them in person on their demo day. So that was quite a pleasure, and I enjoy doing these things very much. To be able to do it in person is very insightful, and that's partly what's gonna feed this video as well as many blog posts to come about what I discover at Hack Reactor. One of the episodes that I will do is about how JavaScript has such an important role at Hack Reactor, and the founder Tony has a very good vision about why JavaScript will be a very prominent language, will continue to be a very prominent language, has always been, but it's more than just front end development now. It's gonna be also absolutely full stack like it can be. It's gonna be a crucial part of modern development because CoffeeScript is used everywhere in apps like Rails, and Node.js is starting to be the back end of iPhone apps, start to serve data to where JavaScript has never been before, such like the Apple iPhone, for example. So it's JavaScript is so much more than just front end now, and that's why you need to be a little careful if you're applying to Hack Reactor. You need to be aware of that. This is a full stack curriculum, and it's going to be quite difficult for people who are coming from more of a design, what we Stanford students call fuzzier, like fluffier backgrounds, humanities. It's going to be a little challenging. I'm very glad to see jQuery and Jasmine here because jQuery is such a convenient library now after you learn how JavaScript is a very unique language and why it is so useful on the web cross-browser. And jQuery will prove that to be even an easier task to do cross-browser scripting and to do all kinds of fancy stuff, including AJAX calls and API use. So these libraries are well used in many neural frameworks too, like Backbone, like blinking out D3, and all these other important libraries. And Jasmine, very glad to see it here too because it's test and behavior driven development. It's very good to have that for JavaScript. If you're interested in Rails a little bit, kind of knowing Jasmine with JavaScript and JavaScript frameworks, it's gonna be very important. And test-driven development is very important for Rails via RSpec, Cucumber, etc. I'm not gonna go into too much details here. I'm surprised to not see Backbone here actually. Backbone JS, a sort of MVC framework for one-page JavaScript apps, and it's well used by really popular websites, and I think Pandora maybe. And I'm surprised. Oh wow, this is just going on forever. I wish I can show you very quickly some of the samples apps that use Backbone. So I'm surprised to not see it there because I heard students mention, I heard people use Backbone quite a bit in Hack Reactor. One of the key things to bring attention on is obviously the tuition. In my blog post and in this video cast a little bit, I aim to explain this number. Don't get me wrong, this is a very tough number to accept for many of us, even if you're affluent. So anyway, and then there is a little bit of scholarship for women and underrepresented minorities. So take a look if you think you may qualify. I want to bring some attention to the staff members and the founder. Lots of Twitter connection, real Twitter connections, like Marcus and Tony. I think is Marcus' brother. They're co-founders, I believe. So have to double check. Maybe Marcus does this more part time, but there's another Twitter person too, and that goes in line with the story that these instructors are very well versed in Silicon Valley technologies, and they have worked at prominent startups, labs, accelerators like Twitter, like OkCupid Labs, Google. Not sure what King.io is. Need to check that out. Mozilla, open source. And as that, from Storyfy, a very good startup, I also read his book, Rapid Prototyping with JS. Highly recommended. Very smart guy. A lot of fun. He has a Backbone JS tutorial too. And that sort of goes in line with the fact that multiple instructors are available, and they're publishing, and they're very active in the Silicon Valley community. I would say this is hard to get in boot camps other than Hack Reactor as well as Hackbright. Hackbright naturally attracts a lot of people mentoring young women engineers, but to have these expensive developers for hire and have them available for students, I see that as quite a benefit of Hack Reactor, and I always thought that explained the price tag a little bit. But one concern I had was, were they gonna be available? They seem to be part time. But turns out that I got to meet quite a few instructors, not the most senior ones on that day, but I met Fred from Walmart Labs, for example, also very good Silicon Valley, sort of the very agile portion of Walmart, doing a lot of great things, big data. And I thought these instructors are very available. They are sitting very closely with students. The instructor offices are quite small. So they're actually sitting out there in open space with students. So I just want to say that I'm not getting paid to do these videos. This is my hobby, but I was very glad to be able to visit in person and research like this. I want to do check out the human factor blog post on my blog to see details about what I've encountered, what I've learned about these instructors and how they interact with students. Given the interest of a YouTube video, I'm gonna stop right here and I'm going to upload this part and showcase in the second part, which is not to be missed, is me talking more about the details of the program, the curriculum, and I want to showcase some really cool student projects that I found before I arrived at Hack Reactor and after I checked them out in person.